All right, we're going to get started with the agenda session of the meeting. We have nothing on second reading. We have an ordinance on first reading. Number one, ordinance to provide the funding for various park improvements by the city of New Brunswick and the county of Middlesex, state of New Jersey. Appropriate $150,000, therefore, and authorize the issuance not to exceed $142,000 bonds of notes to the finance part of the cost thereof. Then we have two, an ordinance to amend and supplement the revised general ordinance of the city of New Brunswick, Title 10, Vehicles and Traffic, 1050, provisions for subtitle number 1, statute enforcement, section 10.50-030, schedule title enforcement or agreements. Add 15 Maple Realty LLC, 15 Maple Street. Then we have resolutions. 1, approve agenda amendments. 2, approve payroll. 3, authorize refund for redeemed sales certificates. 4, approve city council meeting schedule. 5, approve amendment resolution, reasons to authorize the execution of addendum to the power purchase agreement with NBS Energy Partners LLC. 6, approve chapter 159 budget insertion for state of New Jersey Department of Law and Public Safety for drunk driving enforcement fund. Amount $24,083.77. 7, approve award of contract with WTH Technology Incorporated for proprietary user licenses for the police department. 8, authorized purchase by the police department under state contract A-8129 T-0106 Police and Homeland Security Equipment and Supplies for Atlantic Tactical Incorporated for purchase of ammunition not to exceed $4,273.92. 9, authorized purchase by police department under state contract A-1348 T-016 Police and Homeland Security Equipment and Supplies from Lanigan Associates Incorporated for 3 bulletproof vests for the police department not to exceed $2,268.75. 10, authorized participation in cooperative purchasing program of water utility with the U.S. Communities Purchasing Program. 11, approve amendment for use of $60,000 of CDBG funds for the Union County, Union County Economic Development Corporation, UCEDC, for assistance in micro enterprises, fair and open. 12, approve amendment of resolution, reason to add additional dates approved for solicitation of funds requested by Rutgers University Dance Marathon to benefit the Embrace Kids Foundation. Additional dates Friday, Saturday, Sunday, December 10th, 15th, 17th, 22nd, 23rd, 24th, 29th, 31, 2017, January 19th and 20th, 26th, 28th, 2018, February 2nd and 4th, 9 to 11, 23, 25, 2018, March 9 to 11, 16 to 18, 23, 25, and March 30th and April 1st, 2018. Time, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Locations, George Street and Bishop Place, George Street, Seminary Place, George Street and Hamilton Street, George Street and Somerset Street, George Street, Albany Street, George Street and Church Street, George Street and Patterson Street, George Street and Bayer Street, George Street and Livingston Avenue, George Street and Liberty Street, George Street and New Street, George Street and Commercial Avenue, George Street and Nickel Avenue, and Riders Lane and Dudley Road. 13, approve award of contract for Atlantic Salt Incorporated, treated rock salt for public works and water departments. Term, 12-month period, commencing December 8th, 2017, and ending November 30th, 2018. Not to exceed $76,000. Middlesex County Cooperative Purchasing Program, CK12-Middlesex from Atlantic Salt Incorporated. 14, approve amendment of resolution, reason to pay additional legal fees in the amount of $1,510 to Christopher D. Adams, Esquire, and Adams and Buchanan and Palo LLC, administrator in all matter of Arthur Anderson, et al., the city of New Brunswick, et al., on punitive damage claims from $34,898.47 to $36,408.47. 15, approve purchase by police department under state-related A-89551 M-003 software license related services to SHI International Corporation for software for the police department, not to exceed $312. 16, authorized tax collector to collect transfer credits on several tax accounts. 17, authorized application acceptance and execution of the grant. State of New Jersey Department of Law and Public Safety, New Jersey Division of Highway Traffic and Safety for 2017 crackdown, drive sober, get pulled over grant, year-end crackdown. 18, approve award of contract with JTG Construction Incorporated for Rutgers Village Main Replacement Project, Phase 2, specification number 62517W, not to exceed $918,000. $90. 19, approve emergency appropriation for the city budget water utility. 20, authorize purchase by the police department under PPM, Pennsylvania Education Purchasing Program for Aptex Corporation for surveillance cameras with accessories, not to exceed $27,787.62. 21, approve Chapter 159 budget insertion, State of New Jersey Department of Law and Public Safety, New Jersey Division of Highway and Traffic Safety for drive sober or get pulled over grant, year-end crackdown, amount of $5,500. 22, held at the request of city clerk. 23, pulled as unnecessary. 24, approve a purchase by Division of Recreation under state contract, Hertrix Fleet Services Incorporated for one Dodge Durango, not to exceed $27,486.50. 25, approve budget insertion, U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, home grant, M17, that's MC 34-0227, amount $664,055. 26, approve award of contract with Clean Air Company for proprietary maintenance and repairs contract for climate system diesel exhaust system at all 3 firehouses, term 12-month period commencing December 7, 2017 and ended December 6, 2018, not to exceed $10,000. 27, approve relaxation of the city noise ordinance requested by Certified Crane Rental to place a crane on New Street to lift the HVAC equipment to the roof of Rutgers Blockstein Building at 33 Livingston Avenue, road closure, New Street, Livingston Avenue to Kirkpatrick Street, date Sunday, December 17, 2017. 28, approve relaxation of city noise ordinance requested by Industrial Cooling Corporation. Reason, to disassemble a crane to complete an HVAC change-out at Johnson & Johnson headquarters, 1 Johnson Drive, date Saturday, December 30th, 2017, time 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. 29, approve amendment of resolution to extend work following Saturday times, December 9th, 2017 through December 30th, 2017, from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. project-wide. Extend work from Monday, Friday to December 7th through December 30th, 2017 from 7 p.m. to 6 a.m. French Street to Bethany Street, Landing Lane, George Street, Somerset Street, at Division and High and Plum Street. Approve relaxation of the city noise ordinance requested by Public Service Electric and Gas Company. Reason, PSENG Modernization Program, Phase 2. 30, approve relaxation of noise ordinance requested by Prime Construction Remodeling to perform exterior repair services at the Plaza Square Apartments, 1 Richmond Street, date Saturday, December 9th, 2017, alternate date, Saturday, December 6th, 2017, time 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. 31, approve amendment resolution R-81742 with change order number 1 with traffic lines incorporated for traffic line striping. Specification number 91317, amount $111.15. Approval of this change will not constitute an increase in 20% or more of the original contract. 32, approve request for street closing. Request by Faith Hope Baptist Church, Talmadge Road between Georges Road, Larch Avenue, celebrating the installation of new Pastor Reverend Buckland for the use of South Talmadge Road for parking for all attendant celebration. Sunday, December 10th, 2017. Time 1 p.m. to 9 p.m. Police extra duty.
Mr. Council President, I understand from speaking to you earlier that the council may have some concerns regarding the extent of the closure of that particular roadway, especially when considering the concerns of the residents who live on that street. You might want to see if a representative of the church is here.
Is anybody from the church here?
I placed a call with the applicant and only was able to leave a message asking to come to the meeting this evening. I don't know if he received it or not. As Mr. Shanley said, the request was added late. It was vetted by my office, probably not well. I think the 8-hour, 9-hour closure of the street and packing the street with cars is not a great request. One of the things I think I can offer is that we allow for parking for the event on Sanford Street as it's extended on the other side of Recreation Park. I don't know if that'll meet the needs of the church, but it's a partial solution.
Yeah, because it would be it'll be cumbersome just to, because that street, it's already narrow on a regular day. Yeah, and to block off a street for 8 hours is,
After there's a fire.
yes. So I mean, we can amend or?
We could amend it, we could hold it, with respect to Mr. Lockland's suggestion. We could amend the resolution to provide, for parking on that particular extension.
So do we hold it? Is that all, that's not all amendment, we can hold it then? All for that?
Their event is Sunday the
Yeah.
10th, so, I mean, if you reject this request, you know, I suppose I could at least discuss with them the Sanford Street option, and you can approve it, pro tunc at the next meeting, and we, assuming the police department's on board with it, we could administratively authorize it.
It's a parking situation, it wouldn't be a closure.
Okay. If everybody is still.
Right, so what I would
When we get
suggest
to
we
the
do,
resolution.
right, that we would, when we get to the consent agenda, you would hold this 132.
All right, 33, approve amendment and resolution, R-06-1774, reason additional funds for December 2017 employee health benefit claims with Aetna, U.S. Healthcare, traditional and POS, term July 1st, 2017 to June 30th, 2018, amount $33,630.87. 34, approve amendment of resolution, reason additional funds for December 17, 2017 employee health benefit claims with Cigna Healthcare, term July 1st, 2017 to June 30th, 2018, amount $27,142.78. 35, authorize refund to Moss Dudley to a total amount of $509.32 from the water account. And 3-33-001-177200 against block 59603, lot 1.6, qualifier C0335 Oedipus Road.
Mr. Fleming, I'm
Yes.
sorry to have made you read that, but Mr. Lavenberg recommends that be held. I don't think that he is in agreement with the refund or hasn't properly vetted that yet.
Thank you. We figured that out there.
Sorry about that.
All right. Then we have items for discussion by council, public discussion, environmental commission report.
Yes, I don't know if the representative is here at this time. From the
Okay.
Environmental Commission. Anyone here from the Environmental Commission? Okay, well,
Okay.
we'll wait until the regular meeting, we'll call upon
All right.
them again.
We have so on and so
So my
forth.
understanding from the clerk's office, they were confirmed to be here.
Okay. All right. Meeting will now come to order. Clerk, please do us the honor of calling the roll.
Council Vice President Anderson,
Here.
Councilmember Egan,
Here.
Councilmember Escobar is absent, Councilmember Socorro Ludwig, here, Council President Fleming.
Here, please be advised that the notice of the requirements of the Open Public Meeting Act has been complied with and satisfied. And the annual notice, which gave sufficient notice, time, and place in all public meetings of the Municipal Council of the City of New Brunswick, and has been filed with the City Clerk and has been placed on the appropriate bulletin board in the lobby of City Hall, and has been transmitted to the official newspaper of the City of New Brunswick, namely the Home News Tribune. So please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing for a moment of silence for those that are defending freedom around the world, those that are defending freedom in our country, and those that lost their life in defense. Approval of minutes.
Take a motion, sir?
Second. Council Vice President Anderson,
Yes.
Councilmember Egan,
Yes.
Councilmember Socorro Ludwig. Yes. Council President Fleming.
Yes. All right, we have nothing on second reading. We got on first reading, 1, bond orders for providing for the funding of various park improvements by the city of New Brunswick in the county of Middlesex, state of New Jersey, appropriate $150,000, therefore, and authorizing the issuance not to exceed $142,000 bonds or notes to the finance part of the cost thereof.
Move the ordinance setting down December 20th, 6:30 PM, same date to be advertised.
Second.
Council Vice President Anderson,
Yes.
Councilmember Egan,
Yes.
Councilmember Socorro Ludwig,
Yes.
Council President Fleming.
Yes. We have two, an ordinance to amend and supplement the revised general ordinance of the city of New Brunswick, Title 10, Vehicles and Traffic, Chapter 10-50, provisions for the subtitle of New Jersey statute, Title 39, Enforcement Section, 10-50-030, Schedule of Title 39 Enforcement Agreements, add 15 Maple Realty LLC, 15 Maple Street.
Move the ordinance setting down December 20th, 6:30 PM, same date to be advertised.
Second.
Council Vice President Anderson,
Yes.
Councilmember Egan,
Yes.
Councilmember Socorro Ludwig,
Yes.
Council President Fleming.
Yes. Okay, now we have resolutions 1 through 35. 1 through 35. We're holding
22,
22.
32, and 35, Mr. Council.
Okay. Would anybody from the public like to speak specifically on these ordinances? Please remember to give your name and address, and reminder that you have 5 minutes.
Good evening, members of the council. Charles Prattville, I'm the editor of New Brunswick Today, community newspaper here. The first one I want to ask about is really important to me. It's going to set the tone for the rest of the meeting. I hope you can work with me on this. The city council is about to schedule a meeting for December 19th, 2018, and I alluded to this last time I came to one of your meetings that date is, if you approve it, is going to have a conflict with the housing authority meeting, and so I spoke to residents there, and they are not happy about that. They want to be able to go to all the meetings, and so I would ask you respectfully to, like we did in November's as part of the schedule here in Resolution 4, to just move it to the day before, Tuesday. Would you be willing to make that change?
Mr. Council President, my understanding, we went over the schedule of the prior meeting that we during the agenda session. We tried to move the dates to make them as close as possible to the regular scheduled meetings. My understanding there may be one conflict with respect to the Housing Authority meeting, which falls on December 19, 2018 at 6:30 p.m. My concern is, and obviously it's up to the council, but my concern is from a administrative perspective. We have 3 meetings in December, okay? It's a lot on the law department, not that we can't do it, but as well as other departments on getting things together. To move the date that time of the year does create some problems. Maybe the clerk's office could sound in on that as well.
We have the exact same concerns.
And housing movers?
They already adopted their schedule. If you'll ask them to, that would be one way to resolve the conflict. Another way would be for you to change your meeting schedule. So, no.
Yeah.
Okay. Next resolution, solar plan. Can you tell me, are you guys meeting the numbers you expected to meet on the energy that's generated? The solar panels, what is this, 4th addendum to power purchase agreement?
With respect to that resolution, Mr. Council President, that is merely to move some dates out for regulatory approval, governmental approval to get the solar panels up and running. I don't have any figures on the panels that are in place, nor is it in the backup. Suppose you could try to get back to Mr. Cradwell in that regard.
The addendum is being requested by the Board of Ed so that they have additional buildings of theirs evaluated for solar. This does not affect what we have in place or what I think all our buildings have already been analyzed and evaluated for solar options, and the only ones that we were able to put into play were at the treatment plant. I believe the power is still purchased at a value less than PSE&G, but I have not looked at that in a long time, Mr. Chairman.
Which buildings is the Board of Ed looking at putting the solar panels on?
Which building?
I can find that if you give me a second.
I have it. Administration building, the Lincoln Attic School, the Brunswick Board of Education, high school building, middle school building, Redshaw, Roosevelt.
Thank you. I'll move on to number 8, the ammunition purchase. Can you just tell me, if the police shot any bullets on the job, on duty, as opposed to practice training?
Say that.
So this is a year's worth of ammunition that's being
Right.
purchased. I assume most of it is going to be used at target practice. How many bullets were shot outside of target practice in the past year?
Wait, the purchase, this is for the new purchase?
Yeah. Yes.
He's asking the number of bullets, that have been used for target practice, or?
No, not target practice. They were used,
At people.
shot, or anything, shot accidental or on purpose, shot on
But
the job.
this is on the new bullets, the purchase of the 2018.
Yeah, so I'm asking just for,
But let's come back, you can do that during the public, because this is for the new bullets that's coming forward.
yeah, I just want to know how many bullets the police shot in the past year. Is
The
that?
ones that we purchased last year.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's not on this. Let's
It's a fair
use the time
question.
I know, I understand that, but
Well, then why can't we get the answer?
because we will. As soon as you come back this is on this resolution.
I don't understand why you play games like this.
Okay, I'm playing.
Just please answer the question, or don't answer it. Don't make me come back up and ask this question again.
Okay, Captain Miller,
Thank you.
I'll answer it during the public portion.
thank you.
Tell me a little bit about the U.S. Communities contract, or the purchasing agreement that the water utility is signing up for. What types of things will be purchased through it?
Yeah, we're just in the exploratory phase of looking into a rental uniform service. The one company that we're going with is part of this co-op, and we're joining the co-op, we're putting the numbers together to see if it's a viable solution for the guys to have better looking uniforms that are better maintained.
Thank you. I see number 14 is more lawyer bills for these racism and corruption cases. One of them settled last week. Is the city going to settle this one like it settled the other racism and corruption lawsuit?
This one is still under, it's still pending.
Any idea when the trial will start?
I do not know. I don't know if there is a trial.
Does the city council have any comment on the decision to settle that racial discrimination case filed by Lieutenant Middleton?
No.
Between this case and the other case, this is costing taxpayers more than $2 million. What do you say to those taxpayers, especially the ones who are in other communities, not New Brunswick, that are chipping in to pay for this multi-million-dollar situation?
So we have no comment, because it's still under litigation, it's still pending.
Isn't it true that Lieutenant Middleton was suspended 8 days for his actions during
This
the
is not on
police
this,
chase?
I'm sorry, this is, you can ask that in the public portion.
All right, I guess that's all I have. I wish you would just allow me to ask these questions now, but I'll put you on the flip side.
Yes,
Okay, I'm here for the approval of the request for Talmadge, Faith Hope.
yes. We're holding.
Faith Hope Church.
Yes.
I'm not here for Faith Hope, I'm
I
here
know.
for the community.
Yes,
Okay.
we're holding,
I will-
okay, I'm gonna let you,
Okay.
we're gonna hold that one. I don't know if you guys heard, we're gonna hold that one, because we agree that it's cumbersome for the neighbors to have to, not be able to park on their own street for 8
All they
hours.
gotta do is ask Sharon Baptist, can they use their parking lot
We-
from 1 to 9?
That's it.
That was consideration.
Okay.
Okay.
Anybody else on the resolutions?
Council Vice President Anderson,
Yes.
Councilmember Egan,
Yes.
Councilmember Socorro Ludwig,
Yes.
Council President Fleming.
Yes. Okay, now we have the public discussion.
All right, let's see if the rest, let's see.
Yes, I mean, environmental commission.
Right.
Yes.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Erin Connolly, and I'm a resident of the city of New Brunswick. I have been since 2009, and since 2009, I have been on the New Brunswick Environmental Commission, which is one of the boards that you can join as a citizen if you want to enact positive change within our community. So I'm here to discuss some of the things that we've done for the past couple of years and things that we want to do moving forward. So I'd like to thank the City Council for having me and allowing me to connect with the community and you, the City Council. So we've welcomed 3 new members to the Environmental Commission, Kristen DeGraw, Jonathan Malpica, and Howie Swerdloff. There's still a couple seats available, so if anyone knows of someone who is interested in environmental stuff, you can ask to join. You can submit an application to the mayor and possibly join our commission. All of the public meetings are public and open to the public. They're held in this building, in this room, on the 3rd Tuesday of every month at 7 p.m. 4 of our members attended an ANJEC training. That's the Association of the New Jersey Environmental Commissions. And we actually had a representative from ANJEC attend our November meeting. The EC was represented at the New Brunswick Clean City Block Captain meeting in the spring, and we continue to help that program grow. We applied for and were awarded 500 native trees and bushes from the New Jersey Tree Foundation. Approximately 75 were planted in the city. 55 were planted at Promise Garden on Tabernacle Way, and it surrounds their apiary so that honeybees had native flowers to feed on. Another 20 trees went to Lord Sterling, which were planted by students on Earth Day. Unfortunately, the rest of the trees were taken up by Highland Park because we could not find more need within our city or people willing to plant trees. So hopefully in the future, if we go after a grant like this or apply for trees, we'll work with the community and the city to plant them. We had a table at the Raritan River Festival. I hope you all attended. We distributed a passbook which encouraged participants to travel to all the environmentally friendly booths. We did a cleanup in our community at Mile Run and picked up 1,300 pounds of trash, 255 pounds of recycling. We did a completion of a Brownsville Fields inventory for the city of New Brunswick. We established an urban pollinators garden in Bucolo Park. And we completed the coastal vulnerability assessment. If you were here in Sandy or other storms, you remember when Route 18 flooded and other parts of our city have flooded. And so the coastal vulnerability assessment for New Brunswick was generated in 2015, which outlines specific steps for the city to take to move toward resiliency after coastal flooding. The assessment was produced by the Cousteau Center at Rutgers. That's like Jacques Cousteau. An additional goal is to ultimately create a continuous green path or trail along the Raritan River, which would provide the dual benefit of increased public access to the banks on the Raritan, as well as increased wildlife habitat and green space. We have a couple of projects in process, including the Municipal Public Access Plan, of which you recently approved. So thank you, City Council, for approving that. It is now getting moved to the Planning Board. And it's exactly what it sounds like. The Municipal Public Access Plan is developed so that we can increase pedestrian and cycle access to the entire riverfront in New Brunswick. We can increase picnic areas in parks and access to the river and more. We're also working in a collaboration with the Lower Raritan Watershed Partnership and New Brunswick Parks and Gardens Commission on the Lyle Brook Habitat Connectivity Plan. We are in the process of creating an art mural which will increase stormwater awareness and encourage residents to realize their direct connection between their actions on the land and the shared watershed. This will come in the form of sidewalk murals, which will be painted on the sidewalks and help illustrate the fact that what happens on our streets eventually ends up in our waterways. We also want to encourage people to go out on the river, and so we're looking to sponsor an event in 2018 to kayak on the river or canoe. We reached out to Middlesex County to assure that the docks at New Brunswick Landing would be installed again for 2018. Unfortunately, they were not installed for 2017. We would like to demonstrate the effectiveness and usefulness of these docks for kayaking, canoeing, and accessing the river. We are working with the City of New Brunswick, Rutgers, the Raritan Riverkeeper, and more to make this happen in 2018. If you're interested in having access to the river or joining us on this event, I encourage you to stay tuned or come out to some of our meetings to help us plan. Here's a list of some of our goals for 2018 and beyond. We'd like to increase recycling in the city. So I'd like to remind everyone that there's an app that is available on all smartphones. It's called My Waste, and it's very helpful for keeping track of what night of the week your recycling is due, when to put it out, and what to put out. Also, please remember that plastics, number 1 and number 2, are recyclable, and they should be put in bins. And please use bins, not bags, because bags often slow up the process of going through the recycling waste. If you don't have a bin, one can be purchased at Public Works for under $10 at 400 Jersey Avenue. We'd also like to reduce the waste and litter that we find in our communities. We feel that New Brunswick would be a much better place if we saw less litter on the streets. And so we're asking everyone to be a partner with us to that end. So we will continue to partner with the Clean City Block Captain program to keep litter off the streets. And again, we need your help too. If you care about this community, please get involved by either joining an organization, Esperanza, New Brunswick Environmental Commission, or another organization, and start making your presence be felt in the city in a positive way, please. You can call 732-745-5059 to participate as a Clean City Block Captain. We will continue to perform annual litter cleanups in the city in partnership with the New Brunswick Department of Public Works. We will increase populations of native pollinators and plants within the city and track their locations in abundance. And finally, you've heard everything that we've done so far, which is pretty remarkable because we didn't do it on a budget. All of the things that we've done were little to no money. And so we're asking for the city's guidance or to work with the city on securing small grants, which are attainable for people like the New Brunswick Environmental Commission who don't have a large staff or the ability to apply for large grants. These small grants will help us accomplish even more. So I'm hopeful that we'll be able to apply for small grants and make them go a long way for our city. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Now open up anybody to discussion. All right. Okay. Oh, the public portion. Now we go to the public portion section of the meeting. We ask you to come forward. Please give your name and address for the record. And reminder that you have 5 minutes.
Danielle Moore. I would like to start off first with I do thank the city. I do see that the project for Lee and Comstock, Lee and Delran, and Rumson and Ward Street is being started by replacing the new curb, making it passable for wheelchair. So hopefully I will see the flashers for the crosswalk, but I thank you for starting the project. But I would also like to speak up and do to where I hope you continue for Lawrence and Lee Avenue and Lawrence Street with where, for the curb to make it passable. And then one thing I forgot to mention at the last meeting, due to where it was another accident on Lee and Fulton in November. I believe that the record is 3 for Lee and Ward, 3 for Lee and Lawrence, 2 for Fulton and Lee, and 1 for Ellen and Lee, all in a year and a half's time. So like I said, I'm checking in, when will the road be repaved to put down the speed bumps, to slow these accidents down?
The city engineers here, maybe you can speak to
I
that.
don't see it. Oh,
Oh.
Those are under consideration for the budget for next year. I do not have an answer to give you this evening.
Well, let's see how many times we can go back to the past 2 months. It said that it was put in and it should be done soon. Each time, still nothing yet.
About the repaving of the streets that PSE&G dug up?
Yeah, yes.
You don't have a time frame for that?
Well, the repaving of the PSE&G streets will be done by the end of the year. They are on this evening for additional hours to be working through the night to continue to restore the streets that they are working on.
So, okay, by the end of December, the road, Lee Avenue will be repaved so the speed bumps can go down?
I do not have an answer on the speed bumps for you, but for the repaving of the streets, yes. For
Well,
the speed bump,
that's what they're saying, that's what I was told, when slowing down, for putting the speed bumps down, due to where you have to repave the road.
the speed bumps are already existing before PSE&G came through?
The speed bumps were approved, yes, were approved already, but they pulled up on them due to where, after they did the new piping, how they said that, okay, the road has to be repaved and then put the speed bumps down for Lee Avenue.
Okay, I'm sorry, but I will have to speak with Tom Valenti to get an answer back to you on whether or not that has been scheduled before the end of the year.
Oh, yes, if you go back to the last few meetings over the past 2 months now, yes, keep saying, okay, it was put in, still nothing done. And like I said, wow, that's nine accidents in a year and a half time within the same location, block after block after block. That's Lee and Ward, Lee and Lawrence, Fulton and Lee Avenue, and Ellen and Lee. Those are all in the same, 4 blocks? Now, like I said, some things should be done due to where, like I said, so many accidents in the same zone area. So I hope to, like I said, see the rush on the pavement so the speed bumps can be put down. Thank you. Then also I have my questions is about Livingston Avenue for middle school. Has the Board of Education spoke up about putting the flashers to slow the speed limit down?
I think Tom Valenti had reported that the Board of Ed did submit their own letter of support or attach their letter of support to the documents that he submitted to the state. Yes, I think the Board of Ed, the city, North Brunswick, maybe even the county have advocated for a 15-mile-an-hour zone.
Okay, by any chance, did any of you or the county look at the pictures that I have gave you to show why this should be done as soon as possible?
And I drove there. I actually went because I drove up there a lot. And then we had supporting documents for that also.
So did any of you take the time to really look at all the pictures that I showed you and how dangerous it is when the school is let out?
Yes.
I think we all agree that it needs to be rectified, and we're working on it, so yes.
Okay, thank you. Then also, I'm asking about crossing guards. Did the police department hire any new crossing guards?
I can answer that,
Okay.
Mr. Council President. We have 3 crossing guards in training right now. Once they go finish training, they'll be assigned the intersections.
Because I have to say, I know you have some of the great crossing guards due to we have some of them at least on 4 different locations. I have to say they're very good. But okay, one thing I do see, okay, if they call out sick, you don't have anyone to back up those 4 locations that they they handle. Like I said, you got some great workers where they rush from one to the other to back up the city or the police department, but wow, I find out that maybe it's time for you to raise the price again, hiring more crossing guards and get more out there, because for instance, even in the zone of Paul Robeson School, due to where, wow, I see that, okay, sure, Paul Robeson School is not open, but wow, all the bus stops that you have over there where I can tell you don't have enough crossing guards up there, so hopefully you do raise the stakes to try to get more workers out there. Thank you.
Thank you.
Buenas noches, mi nombre es Ricarda García, vivo en 212 Baldwin, en la ciudad de New Brunswick.
Good evening, my name is Ricardo Garcia and I live at 212 Baldwin in New Brunswick.
Estamos aquí para pedir que la ciudad de New Brunswick apruebe una póliza para que los dueños de casas que ponen en sus casas en alquiler puedan otorgarle a los inquilinos sus recibos de renta.
And we're here this evening to request that when landlords rent their houses, that there should be a requirement for them to provide the tenants with rent receipts when rent is paid.
Porque eso serviría como comprobante para que el dueño no pueda tener excusas de no darle mantenimiento a la casa y decir que uno no ha pagado la renta porque no puede comprobarlo.
And this would provide tenants with the protection that the landlord would not be able to claim that they had never received the rent and use that as an excuse not to complete the necessary repairs of the property.
Y también ellos no puedan decir que cada vez que ellos quieran puedan estar aumentando $50 o más de lo que está estipulado por la ley.
It would also inhibit landlords putting forward increases every time they want in the rent, $50, even more, increasing the rent beyond the legally allowable limit. Gracias.
Do you pay them cash or do you pay them with a check? Because a check would serve as a receipt if you're paying them by check.
Si se paga in cash.
And it's also illegal to just raise the rent beyond the cap anyway.
We have
Already,
rent
there's an
control.
ordinance for that, so that's already in place if you're actually having an issue with that.
Does she actually ask for a receipt and they say absolutely no?
En su experiencia, la gente pide un recibo y los dueños niegan a proveerlo. ¿O?
Sí, porque a veces hacen un acuerdo verbal, entonces las personas confían en que el dueño es una persona honorable, respetable, pero si sucede algún problema, el inquilino no podría comprobar que ha estado pagando y podría llegar hasta, no sé, problemas grandes.
Many times people believe that the landlord's going to be an honorable person, and therefore, when the landlord says, "Take me at my word," you don't need a receipt. People believe them, but then later there are problems where problems arise that the tenant can't demonstrate their history of paying the rent.
Do they at least,
Money order too.
do they at least even call the city hall about the landlord, or is there a place where they can actually call and say this landlord is not good or something like that?
Bueno, pregunta si usted sabe si la gente llama a la ciudad si hay problemas. Eso depende, me parece, de nuestra licencia.
Creo que no lo hacen.
Yeah, unless they feel they can move forward with something, they might not be willing to do it because they might be asked, do you have your receipts? And then they say, I don't have receipts. But we participate as Unity Square Catholic Charities, Diocese of Touch, and we do refer people to the city if they come in with a particular situation as well.
Yeah, I would report if the name keeps coming up, and obviously the city will take a look at it, I'm sure.
Bien. Ok, dice que si la misma persona está, digamos, creando mucho problema, capaz si toda la gente llama a la ciudad, capaz la ciudad abre una investigación en tal persona.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Good evening, once again, Charles Cradwell of Brunswick and Brunswick today. Can you please ask Mr. Patterson if he knows who owns that building, 212 Baldwin?
Patterson, do you know who owns that building?
No, I don't, but I suspect Mr. Cradaville is going to tell me.
Well, I believe it's affordable housing done by the Borai Group. So, I don't know, I hope you guys hold them accountable. Today in the United States Congress, for the first time in a long time, a vote was held regarding articles to impeach the president of this country. Unfortunately, it was a vote to table those articles, and it did pass, but there were 58 brave members of Congress that voted against that motion. I just want to start by saying that I'm very proud of our Congressman Frank Pallone, who was one of those truly honorable elected officials. And I gotta ask, after all these guys getting indicted and pleading guilty to felonies, do you support the impeachment of the president?
I mean, do we support it, or do we support a resolution from the council? I think we already went on record how we feel about the president. But as far as doing something as a council, as far as how we feel personally, it's a difference between how we feel personally and how we would act as a council.
Add something that's right. We don't care about that.
Excuse me, hold on one second.
No, that's.
I think that's the most important thing.
He's got his 5 minutes.
This is 5 minutes, and then everybody's entitled. Yes.
Okay, I'm not sure if the city's aware of these white supremacist anti-immigrant flyers that are posted around town. What's the city and the council doing about it?
We weren't aware of it. We haven't seen them yet.
I understand the fire department did some very good work to collect donations for victims of the recent hurricanes. We're working on an article about it. Can somebody tell me what was collected, how much approximately, and to whom it's being given?
Can we, Director Rawls, you want to deal with that now?
Get in touch with me, I'll let you know.
Thank you kindly. Please, can you explain what the bond ordinance on first reading does? Why are you proposing to borrow this money, and what exactly is it going to be used for?
That was on first reading? We don't discuss it. That was on first reading.
And for what reason don't you discuss items on first
We've
reading?
already gone through that. That was first reading, it has to go through to the next one.
So the law is you're not allowed to talk about it?
We don't discuss it on first reading. I mean, we want to keep asking.
It's just your policy, your personal policy, that you don't talk about items on first reading.
I just said,
Okay. I think it's a silly policy without a basis.
thank you.
Does the city council have any response to the scathing audit report released September 28th about the New Brunswick Housing Authority conducted by HUD's Office of the Inspector General?
Anybody else? You want to speak? Anybody?
No. Can you please ask Mr. Laughlin for his take on the audit?
I have not reviewed the audit. I've reviewed some of the findings that Mr. Cradaville produced for us, but I'm not an auditor, and I don't have much of an opinion about it, other than I hope whatever the auditors find as deficiencies, that those things can be quickly rectified.
When might the council have something to add on this matter?
When we're able to go through the audit and we formulate an opinion.
You're still going through it.
I just answered your question.
What's a new question? You're still going through it.
I said when we're, yes.
Okay. September 28th. I think it's important. You should definitely review it. What's the status of the Housing Authority's negotiations with the city regarding its pilot payment?
I have nothing to report on that.
Okay, that's one of the things you promised HUD you were going to do.
I understand that was referenced in the document. I'm not a party to those negotiations. If I was, I'd answer the question for you.
Thank you. Any comment on the telephone system crashing at the Housing Authority?
I know that. Do you know about the
No, sorry, I do not.
Can Can you please ask Captain Miller for an update on the police department's investigation into the housing authority?
It's ongoing.
Ongoing. So isn't it true that the housing authority is currently in violation of that state law because its current budget is not available on their website? Could you ask Captain Miller, isn't it true that they're currently in
Is
violation?
that part of the investigation?
Yeah.
Captain Miller, right?
Part of the investigation.
Thank you.
Can you please ask Captain Miller if I am under investigation by the New Brunswick Police, as was proclaimed by Housing Authority Chairman Dale Caldwell on November 15th?
Mr. Granville is not under investigation at this time.
Thank you. Does the council do background checks on the people that are appointed to the Housing Authority Board?
We don't know, because we've only, a lot of people have already predated us.
So the answer is no.
No.
Okay. Do you have any comment on the video of the mayor's aide, Kevin Jones, having an altercation with an opposing campaign volunteer, campaign worker back in 2010 where he smacked the camera out of the guy's hand? Yeah.
No, that was predated most of us, except for you. That was your election.
That was his election. Do you have any comment on that video?
2010.
It's one of those things, I never asked you, so. Okay. Do you have any comment on the recent video of Housing Authority Board member Jurgu Wolde threatening to knock me out? You haven't seen it?
No, you have to show it to me. Send it to me.
I will. You, I think
we can take him.
Well, I honestly, he almost punched me, and I had to yell
Excuse me, can we
get him to leave. So,
let him have his 5 minutes?
Can you ask Captain Miller if one person says to another person, quote, "I will knock you out," would that statement qualify as criminal harassment in New Jersey?
Captain Miller, person said to another person, "I'm going to knock you out." It is not in a song or anything. Would that be a threat? Under criminal law,
harassment is the statute.
It depends on how the person, the victim has to be interviewed to see how they take it and how they feel it was delivered to them. You can't just say one incident is or is not harassment. You have to do a further investigation to decide if a criminal charge will take place or not.
Okay, and if the person made a fist and got in the other person's face, that would contribute to that, right?
You contribute to it, but again, without taking all the facts into consideration, you can't make a decision.
Okay. And if the threat was captured on video, then that would probably contribute as well to the decision, right?
Captain Miller?
Everything is a contributing factor.
Okay.
Have you filed it? Have you filed charges? I mean, I don't know. Might be under.
I'll be honest, I have reason not to trust that the New Brunswick police will properly investigate the New Brunswick Housing Authority because you're kind of all in the same sphere. So, no disrespect, but it's just common sense at this point. Did any of the council members watch that video of the housing meeting that conflicted with your last meeting on November 15th? Okay. Okay, I'd advise you to watch it. I went out of my way to get it on video, and it's amazing some of the revelations that came out. Some of the things I'm asking you about came out of that meeting, like the phone system crashing. And I just think that I'm continuing to sound the alarm about the problems at the Housing Authority. I think this video of the meeting will shine a light on that. And can you tell me what are the council's biggest accomplishments for this year?
We don't like to post.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't like to brag.
Come to the year-end meeting. We'll have to
I'll be at the corner.
get a video and everything.
All right. Did the Cable TV Advisory Committee hold any meetings this year? When was the last time they had a meeting?
Cable TV advisory. No?
No,
When was the last time they had a meeting?
I know not.
We're not sure.
Okay, so long ago that we don't know. Mr. Council President, you're the council liaison to the Citizens Recreation Commission. Did you attend any meetings of that commission
Thank
this
you very
year?
much. The last meeting I couldn't because I had a conflict.
Did you attend any this year?
Like I said, when they met the last time, I had a conflict with.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
I have a question for you.
Can you come up to the microphone, please? And please address everybody.
Where do you live at?
Can you?
I live in the city of New Brunswick. I live on Sedan Street.
Sedan Street, and you should know pretty much what goes on. We want to know what's really important. We know the housing authority question is important, but if you felt threatened, should have called the police. We didn't want to hear about that. We want to hear about other pressing things that's going on in the city. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We want to hear about other pressing things
Identify yourself.
that's going on in the city.
This is your name and address for the record?
Doris Elliott. Yes. And I'm glad that you told me we live at Robert Street.
Thank you. Anybody else? Yes.
Can I just make a statement? Mr. Cradaville earlier spoke of the Middleton and the Anderson lawsuits as being both tied to racial discrimination and the practice of racial discrimination. The Anderson case is, their complaint deals with political retribution, and I think that should be, while no one's proud of either of the lawsuits, I think the distinction ought to be made. I'm personally embarrassed to have legal counsel defending me personally as it relates to political retribution. I would certainly be more than humiliated to have to defend myself and my performance and my relationships as they relate to race.
So noted. Anybody else?
Hi, Nikita Burico, Home News Tribune. I just have a couple of questions. For one, I want to ask sort of a follow-up on one of Mr. Crowder's questions. He asked whether or not the council does any background checks on members of the Housing Authority Board. I want to ask if the city does any of those background checks.
City.
On our employees?
No,
Or
on the
appointees?
people, on the appointees to the housing.
I can't answer that. I don't deal with appointments. We do some basic background checks of employees that we hire, but I'm not involved in appointments.
Okay. And then I want to ask a follow-up on one of the previous speakers whose name I unfortunately did not catch. What sort of consequences are there for charging illegal rents in the city of New Brunswick?
There is a rent control ordinance in place in the city of New Brunswick, which has been in place for many years. It's been amended over time. And in fact, if your landlord charges more than the allowable increase, it usually averages about 2.5% a year, then a complaint can be made to the Rent Control Board, and that Rent Control Board has authority under the ordinance to force the landlord to refund any overpayment, which is allowed under the ordinance. So there's specific guidelines under the Rent Control Ordinance with respect to rental increases, with respect to vacancy decontrol, with respect to conditions, living conditions as such. And New Brunswick, in my opinion, is probably one of the most progressive rent control ordinances in the state of New Jersey. Mr. Patterson and I worked long and hard to try to make it as effective and progressive as possible and protect tenants and at the same time be fair to landlords.
So I'm familiar with the degree to that.
I also want to, you can get penalties also besides just returning the rent.
Exactly.
They can be cited in municipal court with a summons for either a false filing or collecting an illegal rent.
Correct.
Right, so that's more what I wanted to know about. Is there the possibility of fines being imposed or even criminal charges being filed?
Right. And if the landlord does not comply with the board's imposition of penalty, and should there not be a success on appeal, should there be an appeal, then the municipal court has the power under our ordinance and state statute to impose those penalties.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anybody else from the public? Seeing none? Motion to adjourn?
Second. Council Vice President Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Egan.
Yes.
Councilmember Socorro Ludwig. Yes. Council President Fleming.
Yes.